Hey guys, how's it going? Dragox55 here, back with some deck recipes. And today we got one for Legacy of the Duelist, and today we are playing the Venominaga deck. This was actually given to me in a stream, and yeah, so they wanted me to play it. I don't think I made any changes on it, to be honest, so should be good. I know people wanted to see this deck recipe in the chat when I was doing the live stream, so, you know, we got this deck now because it's decent enough. I actually did win like a few times, so those duels should be going up after this or sometime in the future. Anyways, so let's get started. Just so you know that if you're curious, all these cards are in the base game. So I have a total of 6,370 cards. So if you're worried about, oh, what if this card's in DLC? It's not. I haven't bought any DLC, so you guys can actually grind up cards and use this deck too. So yeah, so no worries about the DLC if you're wanting to play this deck. Anyway, so we got 3 Reptilian Naga. Her thing is that if she's attacked, your opponent's attack points go down to 0. And during your end phase, it goes to face-up attack if it was in defense. So, it could be a bad thing, but there's a certain card in this deck that makes it not too bad. Also, it can't be destroyed in battle, but I don't think I need to say that. Because, you know, why would we play a 0 attack and defense monster in this deck otherwise? It does contradict the Venom Swamp, however, but we'll get to that when we talk about Venom Swamp. Anyways, so we're playing 2 Osha Leon. Sorry if I butcher any of these names. Anyway, so while you control this face-up attack position monster, your opponent can't select another monster other than this card. So if you have both of these guys out, then your opponent's not going to be attacking, as simple as that. However, when it's destroyed in battle, you can add 1 reptile monster from your deck to your hand that has 500 or less attack. Now, what that means is you can get this, or you can get these. But I usually tend to just go for these because there's no reason to get this or this. Because this guy can be brought out from the deck, or monster can be brought out from the deck, and this one I'd rather have in the grave. But I guess you can add it if you really want to, so, you know. So it's pretty nice. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about it. 3 Venom Snake. Basically what its thing is that you can place a counter on your opponent's monster, which is pretty nice for Venom decks in particular. It's not as great as like alien counters or whatever, but for Venom it does what it does. It basically helps get rid of monsters quicker, is the whole Venom counter thing, and we'll get into that with Venom Swamp. 1200 attack, level 3, not the greatest, but not too bad indeed. Let's see. Next up we got 3 Venom Serpent. So you basically place a counter on a monster your opponent controls. Oh, that's what the difference was. This one can't attack because 200 points is such a big difference. So yeah, Snake can't attack and Serpent can, but it has 200 less attack. Anyways. So yeah, you place a counter on opponent's monster and it helps out, and then you can attack after, but I don't know. Why this one can't attack, I don't know. Like, what would be so bad about it, but anyways. Next up, we got Evil Dragon Anata. So her thing is, and I'm pretty sure I've gone over it plenty of times, but anyways. So it can't be normal or set, it has to be special summoned by banishing any reptile from your grave. And this card gets 600 attack for each one that was banished. Yeah, okay, I'll just make sure that if you did like Macrocosmos would it get more attack, but no, it doesn't look like it. The downside is it destroys a card at the end phase, which is not too bad, because if you had this out and the Venom whatever, then you can blow this up and you can use this card, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So, other things, it can get over stalling monsters because it just end turn and destroy them. It is a downside card because of these two. It can be if you need monsters in the grave for these four, then you might not want to summon it out. But if you don't really mind, like if you have like let's say 3 reptiles in the grave, then by all means you can just bring it out with 18 and you know, whatever you feel like. Not much else to say about it. Next up we got Venom. I don't know how to pronounce that. The King of Poisonous whatever. Anyways, so this card's unaffected by Venom Swamp. So like, every Venom card is immune to Venom Swamp. So it's pretty good. Anyways, so this card gains 500 for each reptile in the grave. So if you have like 3 reptiles, you have 1500 attack, which is really nice because I think we have 18 of them in here. Or no, we have 16. It looks like. All right. This game is a little hard for me to tell what I have and what I don't have, so try to bear with me. Anyway, so yeah, 500 for each one in the grave. If this card is destroyed and sent to the grave, you can banish the reptile and special summon it. So it's basically like King of the Skull Servant, where when he's destroyed in battle, you can banish Skull Servant from the grave and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty decent. Nothing too great because it's not like a special summons by itself. Another thing to note, it can't be brought out by monster effect, but you can bring it out by spell and trap, so pretty nice. I'm pretty sure there are some monsters that bring this card out like really easy, like Mystic Tomatoes and whatever. So yeah. Next up we got Venominaga. And this is basically the boss monster of the deck. If you can get her out, it's pretty much good game. Depending on how much reptiles you have engraved, of course, but it shouldn't be too hard. Anyways, so it has to be special summoned by Rise of the Snake Deity, which we'll get into in a little bit. Anyways, so it gains 500 just like Venom, whatever his name is. Next thing is that it cannot be targeted by and is unaffected by spell, trap, and monster effects. So it's pretty much like you can't do anything to it. It's kind of like the Towers. However, Towers is a little more overpowered than this. So that's the thing. Anyways, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish one other reptile monster from your graveyard. So basically the same thing. So if they do manage to run it over, you can bring it back to next turn. Let's see. What else was there? Oh yeah, and this card has a win condition for the deck. If you inflict battle damage 3 times with this card, then you win the duel no matter what. So it lets you place hyper venom counters, which I don't really do much decks with instant win conditions, but it's there for anyone that likes it. That's basically what you're trying to do, but you can still win without ever bringing this card out. Dark Hole, which is really nice because it lets you destroy this card and destroy opponent's monsters. It might be better if I just go over this card first before going over the spells. Anyways, so when a face-up Venom whatever king, this card basically, is destroyed, except by battle, you can special summon out a Venominaga from your deck or hand. So yeah, just wanted to go over that right now so that it makes more sense why I'm saying destroy this card. Anyways, Regeki, pretty good to get rid of opponent's monsters. Soul Charge is pretty nice. In this deck, it kinda can be lacking if you get too much damage, but you should be fine, and you can go into like rank 4s and stuff. Not that you should, but you can. 3 terraforming. I personally don't like 3, but you know, it's not too bad in the deck, I guess. I would rather just play 2 and play something else, maybe like another ambush things, maybe, you know, just whatever's. Next up we have do Venom Shot, and basically it's basically like a Snake Rain, but you have to have a Venom monster. So if you have a Venom monster, Venominaga, or Venom whatever, Manon, I don't know how to pronounce that. You send 1 reptile to the grave and you place 2 Venom counters on opponent's monster. So these guys get a 100, 500 boost, but you're mostly going to send this guy to the grave. Next up we got 3 Venom Swamp. So what it does is that during the end phase, place 1 Venom counter on each face-up monster. Pretty decent. The other thing is that monsters lose 500 for each Venom, and if you get 0 attack points because of this effect, then your monster is destroyed. So this card is unaffected by Venom Swamp, and the fact that it makes other monsters become 0 makes it kind of annoying to use this to destroy cards, but you know, it's not too bad, because technically if they get hit with this and then get 0 and this can't destroy it, you usually can just run it over with like one of these guys for whatever reason. Anyways, next up we have 2 Viper Rebirths, which is pretty good. Anyways, so Viper Rebirth, you activate only if all the cards you control are reptile, so everything's reptile, check. And then you can select 1 non-tuner in the graveyard and special summon it and destroy it during the end phase. So you want to get this guy in the graveyard and then special summon it and then end phase destroy and then activate Rise of Snake Deity. Pretty nice. 1 ambush things. I maybe might want to put this in 2 if you want to take out a terraforming. Anyway, so yeah, ambush things is pretty nice. It pretty much ends the battle phase and then place a Venom counter on a monster that attacked, so pretty nice. You can change it out for Mirror Force, but I kind of like the fact that it just negates and ends, and then Venom can do what it needs to. Bottomless, because Bottomless, you know, don't really need a reason for that. Compulse is pretty nice, just bounce something back that's really annoying you on the field, so it's like whatever's. Damage equals reptile is really nice for this card right here, and the reasoning because of the fact that if you take any damage you can special summon 1 reptile equal to or less than the attack you took. So if you take damage like 3000 attack, then you can bring out pretty much anything in the deck. I mean, even 2000 damage is anything in the deck, so you can even bring this one out, but I don't know, I really wouldn't most find a destruction card in Deity. And then next up we got 3 Offering to Snake Deity. This card lets me destroy 1 reptile and destroy 2 cards on my opponent's field. However, they need to be face up, so the face up reptile, I mean. So yeah, so you know, it's just needs to be face up, so these 2 might not be face up, might be face down, but it depends on whatever. If you don't like damage equals reptile, by the way, you can play Spirit Barrier if you don't want to take damage for this, but I think damage equals reptile is a little better. And then Venom, Rise of Snake Deity. We'll go over it a little bit more, but we really don't need to. So the ways of destruction to destroy this card are as follows: Torrential Tribute, Offering to Snake Deity, not Venom Swamp, Viper's Rebirth, Dark Hole, and this card right here. any of those cards can destroy the Venominaga snake thing. Even running into an opponent's Mirror Force is not too bad. So, you know, those are things that help out if you want to use this card. We only run 2 because 3 would just be like, no, 3 would just be a little too much. Like, you would draw into it and then you would never like draw into this or one of the good cards in the deck, so 2 is fine. 1 Solemn to negate summon, and then Torrential to blow up monsters on the field, because, you know, it doesn't really affect us too much. So for the extra deck, it really doesn't matter. You play whatever you feel like in the extra deck. I mean, I have one built here just because it does stuff, I guess. I really don't go into this extra deck too much, so I'm not too worried. But, you know, you can do whatever. The only one I really want to talk about is this one, because the other ones are, you know, whatever you want to play, because usually you just play Castiel's in Abyss, Silent Honor Arc, or whatever, so, you know. So we had 3 King of the Feral Imps. And basically you detach 1 XYZ material and then you add 1 reptile from your deck to your hand. So you can pretty much add anything you want, like this, pretty much the whole deck. So yeah. I know I'm kind of lacklustering it with not talking about the extra deck too much. But these are just like staples, like there's really nothing to talk about. I mean, Levier, fine, it's nice. You can bring back one of your banished reptiles that were banished by this, but really there's nothing else to talk about in terms of extra deck. Side deck, if you want to, you can play Snake Rain, but I found Snake Rain just goes through the deck too much and you need monsters for sure in your hand and deck. So anyways, I think the deck is a good 7 out of 10. I mean, it's not the best deck in the world, but it's not terrible either. And I have like a hair in my mouth for some reason. It's disgusting. No, I like 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 is pretty nice. You know, I really haven't done any deck recipes for Legacy because I didn't really know how to. I wanted it to look and whatever, so you know, this is pretty good. Anyways, so yeah. I think this is a decent enough deck recipe that if you want to play this deck, it will do what it needs to do. Don't suspect like top tier gameplay from it, but it will work for what you're trying to do. I personally think this is the best in terms of Venom. I mean, unless if you want to go like aliens in here too, but that's kind of weird and I wouldn't want to do that. I just wanted to keep, like, my main thing is I want to stick to like the main formula of the deck. I don't want to add like dragon rulers because, oh look, I'm playing earth monsters, you know? So, you know, I try to stick to the main thing and I want it to be only base games, so yeah. So anyways, leave your comments in the section down below. Let me know what you thought of this deck. What would you change? What would you keep the same? What would you like to see else in terms of decks? If you requested a deck, don't worry, I'm getting to that. It takes like a while for me to get to stuff nowadays, but don't worry, I'm getting to it as soon as I can. So like the 50 decks that were requested that I'm doing a Venom deck for some reason, then, you know, don't worry, I got those saved. I need to edit maybe 1 or 2 cards in them, and then they'll be out on the market and stuff, so yeah. Anyways, so yeah, don't feel like I forgot about you guys. I just been busy, so anyways, I will catch you guys next time on a good old-fashioned episode of Digimon. Yep. Let's see who responds about that. Anyway, see you guys later.